The Syrian Arab army eliminates dozens of terrorists in the suburbs of Homs, Hama and Idlib. Iraqi army takes control of Al-Azim district, killing dozens of ISIL terrorists. Settlers burn a mosque near Ramallah as occupation soldiers take control of territories in Beit Hanina, north of occupied Jerusalem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our news for today. 7 children have been killed and 4 others wounded when terrorists fired 2 missile shells at Kirnaz Elementary School in Al-Sqailbiya suburb in Hama. Huge material damage has been caused at the school. A source at Sqailbiya National Hospital, where the killed and the wounded were moved, said all the martyrs were below 12 years of age. We start our field news with reports from Homs countryside, where Syrian Arab army units have eliminated a number of terrorists in Wadi Mran and the area north of Sharifa village in Palmyra suburb and the vicinity of the province municipality building in Talbise, also in Homs suburb, destroying a terrorist vehicle in Al-Farhaniya village. In Idlib, a group of armed men were killed by Syrian Arab army soldiers in the surroundings of Nahla, as others were injured in Abu Duhur in the city's suburb, and their equipment were destroyed. Residents of Ain al-Arab in Aleppo countryside made significant progress at several fronts in the city, inflicting heavy losses upon ISIL terrorists. Local sources said that the protection units advanced from one street into another and eliminated a number of terrorists who tried to flee some neighborhoods in the town. However, relative calm returned to some areas after clearing them of ISIL terrorist gangs. Welcome back. In Iraq, Iraqi army launched an air raid targeting the terrorist hideouts in Al-Fallujah, killing 12 ISIL terrorists, including the terrorist group's leader in Al-Fallujah and his assistant. Iraqi army also killed 19 ISIL terrorists, including the so-called ruler of BG, and destroyed 3 suicide car bombs that were heading to BG district. Meanwhile, the International Alliance aircraft targeted ISIL terrorists in the area, killing 68 and destroying their vehicles. In Diyala Governorate, Iraqi armed forces supported by the citizens conducted an operation to liberate the area of Al-Azim Dam from ISIL terrorists, killing many of them and destroying 3 of their vehicles. Iraqi forces were able to regain control over the last stronghold of ISIL terrorists in Al-Azim district and maintained stability and security in Baquba. In occupied Palestine, Israeli settlers burned a mosque in Al-Maghir near Ramallah in the West Bank. Palestinian sources asserted that the prayers in the mosque were surprised to see the fire burning in the first floor of the mosque in Al-Maghir village near Shiloh settlement. The villagers helped extinguish the flames, which left huge damage in the mosque. The settlers also wrote racial graphs on the mosque's walls. Meanwhile, in the town Abitonia near Ramallah, a Palestinian young man was injured by the gunfire of Israeli soldiers who stormed his house. Israeli forces of occupation also stormed the town of Barqin, west of Jenin city. In occupied Jerusalem, the occupation forces arrested 13 Palestinians in a series of raids on the towns of the Holy City, coinciding with the new Zionist decision to methodically destroy 35 dunums of land in Beit Hanina, north of occupied Jerusalem, as part of the Israeli policy of settlement and Judaization. According to news reports from Libya, a big blast rocked Bab al-Hurriya, in Tobruk, east of the country, when a booby-trapped car blew up in the area. No casualties are reported and no details are provided about the bulk of damage the explosion has left. Meanwhile, the army continues its military operations in the city of Benghazi against the armed extremist militias. A security force in Ain Marra in the city has meanwhile intercepted and thwarted, with the help of the people, an armed attack by terrorist groups coming from Derna. Reports, on the other hand, speak of the displacement of 25,000 families from the city of Obari, south of the country, to neighboring areas and the capital Tripoli, which already suffers from full shortage of medicaments and complete halt of vital services due to interfight among the conflicting militias. Finally, in Yemen, military and tribal sources announced the killing of scores of terrorists during an assault on a tribal house in Radi city. Meanwhile, sources at the Yemeni Defense Ministry said that 7 al-Qaeda terrorists were killed following an air raid by a U.S. drone in Shbuh province, south of the country. The group was preparing a car bomb attack in the province. With this, we conclude our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region, and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Serena, but after a short break.
Good afternoon. Prime Minister Dr. Wael al-Halaqi has reiterated the government's keenness to realize real partnership with the private sector to outline the economic and industrial policies that would enhance national economy and realize industrial security. This took place during a special meeting chaired by Dr. al-Halaqi to discuss the situation of the industrial towns and the prospects of developing work there, and address the difficulties that stand in the way, in accordance with the proposals made by the industrialists, ministries and concerned parties. The Ministry of Local Administration reviewed the damages inflicted on the industrial towns and the government's efforts to tackle industrial issues in terms of their environmental, organizational, social, economic and investment aspects. Dr. al-Halaqi underlined the importance of the industrial sector in developing other domains and enhancing social stability and justice across all Syrian governorates. He expressed satisfaction over the increasing number of industrialists and investors who have started to reconstruct their establishments and resume their activities. A workshop on the principles of house construction and the prospects of development with the participation of different sectors was held today at Damascus University. The workshop aims at planning studies in the field of housing sector in Syria in order to specify the parameters of housing basics in a way which fulfills the basic requirements which suit the general housing units. The two-day workshop has also discussed plans to construct new housing projects in several areas. A cooperation agreement was signed between the Engineering Union and Damascus University. Together to push the economy towards a better Syria is the motto of the upcoming food exhibition, which will be held next month with the participation of major national food companies with incremental food security and job opportunities. The Food Expo is to be held against all the odds by Delta Group for Economy and Business in cooperation with the Ministry of Industry and Syrian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. The expo will be held on December the 1st at Dama Rose Hotel. The Director General of Delta Group for Economy and Business said that the exhibition highlights the strong presence of the food industries in the local markets, as it also exposes exerted efforts for fulfilling local needs despite the current situation prevailing in the country. The chairman of Damascus Chamber of Industry asserted that the chamber's board is keen to support the Syrian industry and industrialists, taking into consideration that the priority will be to the industry currently. However, the Chamber of Industry owns 137 acres in Adra Industrial City, as it planned to establish over 500 industrial facilities. At the same time, the chamber has submitted a proposal to the Ministry of Electricity to set up electric exit wires of high voltage directly to provide the electricity to the industrial facilities. Brent crude fell for a third day, amid signs that OPEC members are reluctant to reduce supply, even as prices slumped deeper into a bear market. U.S. crude oil dropped and futures slid 1%. European stocks declined as banks dropped and investors considered violations. After equities extended a 5-week high, Japan's Topix index extended a 6-year high as developers rallied on speculation that the Prime Minister will delay a sales tax increase and call an election. Shares paired gains late in the day. Gold held overnight gains today, but it could struggle to sustain rallies and outflows from billion funds, showing no signs of abating. Spot gold edged up 0.3% to reach $1,168 an ounce. The yen advanced from the weakest level in 7 years versus the dollar after Japanese officials denied that the Prime Minister was considering dissolving parliament and postponing a planned sales tax increase. With this, we conclude our economic news for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.